The HOA labeled my mountain home abandoned. Then I caught them inside using it without permission. We bought that mountain house because our family needed a place to breathe. Not a rental, not an investment flip, a real second home. The kind where our kids could run barefoot on the deck, where mornings smelled like pine and coffee, where silence felt safe instead of lonely. It sat in a quiet, HOA-controlled, commuter cabans tucked into hills, gravel roads, a shared gate, and a long list of rules we followed to the letter. We lived full-time in the city, but every month, sometimes twice a month, we drove up. School, breaks, long weekends, snow days, the HOA knew us. They cashed our dues checks without delay. Utilities stayed on. The mailbox was checked, cameras were installed. Nothing about that house was abandoned. Then one afternoon, while I was at work, an email came through with the subject line, Notice of Abandonment Review. At first, I laughed. I honestly thought it was a mistake. Some automated nonsense. But when I opened it, my stomach dropped. The HOA president claimed our property showed signs of prolonged vacancy and was being evaluated under their abandonment clause. No prior warning, no phone call, no conversation. Just a cold paragraph explaining that if abandonment was confirmed, the HOA could secure and repurpose the property. What? That word stuck with me. I called the HOA office immediately. Straight to voicemail. I emailed back with proof utility bills, timestamps from security cameras, photos from 2 weeks earlier. No response? By evening, my wife could see something was wrong. When I told her, her first instinct wasn't anger, it was fear. Our kids were listening from the hallway, pretending not to. We packed the car that night. The drive to the mountain usually calmed us. That night, it felt endless. Every mile made my chest tighter. I kept replaying the email, trying to understand how anyone could look at our home and decide it was fair game. When we turned onto our road, something felt off immediately. The porch light was on. We never leave it on. The front door wasn't open, but the curtains were different. Moved inside. Shadows shifted. I shut off the engine, and that's when I heard voices. Adult voices. Laughing. My kids froze in the back seat. I told them to stay put and walked up the steps. Through the window, I saw people sitting at our dining table. Papers spread out. Coffee. Mugs. Someone leaning back in my chair. The one I built with my dad. I opened the door. The HOA board was inside my house. The president looked up at me like I was interrupting her meeting. New shock. New embarrassment. She smiled and said, "Oh, you're here." I asked her what the hell she was doing in my home. She said, calmly, that under the HOA's abandonment policy, they were allowed to access and secure properties that appeared unused. I told her the house wasn't abandoned. She shrugged and said appearances mattered. Then she said something I'll never forget. "You should visit more if you want to keep it." My wife came up behind me, holding our youngest. Our older two stood frozen in the doorway, staring at strangers sitting in their home. Their drawings were still on the fridge, their shoes by the door. And these people were acting like it was a conference room. I told them to leave. The president's smile disappeared. She warned me about fines, about liens, about how parents who neglect properties shouldn't expect special treatment. She said it like she was teaching a lesson. That word neglect cut deep. This house was built for my kids, for memories, for safety. And here was someone in a position of power, using paperwork to justify trespassing. While my children watched, I walked back down the steps, pulled out my phone, and called the sheriff. The laughter inside stopped. By the time the deputy arrived, the HOA board was suddenly very quiet. The president tried to explain their authority. The deputy asked for proof of abandonment. She handed him the email she wrote herself. He asked for evidence missed payments, disconnected utilities, returned mail. There was none. He told them to leave immediately. They packed up fast. No apologies. No eye contact. Just resentment. That should have been the end. It wasn't. The following week, we got another notice. This one threatened penalties for disrupting HOA operations. That's when I hired a lawyer. And that's when the truth came out. Our house wasn't the first. Through records, requests, and leaked emails, we discovered the HOA had a pattern. Any home not visited weekly was flagged. Working families, parents with kids in school, retirees who traveled. The HOA president called them low-engagement owners. They used these homes. Board meetings, guest lodging, storage, sometimes just a place to relax. They counted on people being too busy, too intimidated, or too far away to fight back. But this time, they picked the wrong family. The lawsuit moved fast. The sheriff's report helped. So did security footage showing them entering our house weeks before the notice was even sent. The HOA president tried to claim ignorance, then blamed policy confusion. The judge didn't buy it. He called it theft, disguised as governance. The HOA was ordered to pay damages. The bylaws were rewritten under court supervision. The abandonment clause was gutted. The president lost her position. Then her real estate license. Other families came forward. Some cried in the courtroom, explaining how violated they felt knowing strangers had been in their homes. My kids still ask about it sometimes. They ask why adults would take something that wasn't theirs. Why rules meant to protect people were used to hurt them. I tell them the truth. Power without accountability turns ordinary people cruel. And silence is what lets it happen. So let me ask you, HOA, tried to claim your home while you were still paying for it. Would you fight back? Or would you be too afraid to push back? Let me know in the comments, and follow for more real stories where power gets exposed and justice actually wins.